Hello and welcome to John and James Live. My name's John Hastings and with my co-host, Mr. James Silo. How are you today, James?
I'm very good, mate. Very good. It's laggy today. I don't know whether the internet's a bit slow.
Is that you or is that me?
It's pouring with rain, so it may drop in and drop out.
Yeah, it's dropped in, drop out a little bit on there. So today, James, we talk about future proofing through AI. Can you hear me, James? This is we're all good.
I can hear you fine, mate. Sorry about the glitchiness.
No worries at all. So future proofing through AI, James. We talked about this because I thought about this week. We was having a conversation about a company called Killing Kittens. You didn't know what this company was about, which I was disappointed in, James. I thought you would have been there.
Mate, I can't please everybody all the time. It's impossible, isn't it? I mean, I'm fairly kind of broad-minded with knowledge base, but this is one that I fell down on in terms of knowing.
I wonder if your mate that follows us knows about it. What do you reckon?
No,
definitely not.
He doesn't.
Must be a London
definitely
thing.
Not.
Anyway, it's about hedonistic parties, secret parties in London. I think it's a lot of middle-class rich people who wear masks and go to these places. And I don't know if it's a bit of an orgy place. I've never been, but it got me thinking about AI for some reason. And the link between it's not random, James. There's method to the madness. It's about live experiences. How would AI replace that?
Nicely brought that back.
It's about AI experiences, James. So we need to future-proof ourselves and you guys out there from AI. I don't know if it's bad framing, because future-proofing means it's like bulletproofing. It's like AI is against us. I don't think AI needs to be against us. We can flow. We can potentially flow with it, can't we? I hope, James. Jamesy, can you hear me? It is very laggy. James is gone. Okay, I will carry on. So how are we going to future-proof ourselves from the future?
It's really laggy, mate.
It's really laggy. Yeah, we'll try and carry on. So future-proofing yourself. I think we've got to start with a mindset, James, because all it's doing is bringing a lot of uncertainty to the surface. And there's those 6 human needs, isn't it? The Tony Robbins things. I think certainty, uncertainty, significance, connection, growth, contribution. Look at that, James. I just reeled that one.
You just reeled that off.
Tony Robbins myself. So some people are addicted, or they lean towards 2 of these more than others. We're sort of moving towards the latter stages of growth and contribution as our major ones. But if you're addicted to certainty, then this is going to be a tricky one. So you're going to have to build some resilience around change, because things are going to change, and you're going to have to get the mindset in place to deal with that change. So first of all, what can we do, James, to deal with uncertainty in our lives? What things can you recommend people to get involved with or think about?
Well, I think what you were alluding to with was it Killing Kittens?
Don't pretend you don't know, James. Come on.
I'm going to make out I don't know anything about it.
Yeah. Okay.
But I think it is that in-person thing that I don't know that AI certainly in the short term will be able to compensate for. So I think definitely in terms of like creator economy, things that you can do in person, things that you can create, but then, creativity, you can still, as you well know, you can use AI to do that, but it's how much of you actually being in the mix with it and not relinquishing agency completely to it, but there's still that human element that's required to create, to make something. So,
But what are we going to do, James? How are you going to future-proof yourself? What attributes do you need? What do people do? Step one. Say you've got a job, you've got a business.
keep relevant. Keep relevant.
What does that
Stay
mean?
ahead. Try and stay ahead of the curve. So educate yourself.
Education.
So if AI's
Okay.
here, AI's here. You know, I think you've got to stay a breadth or a breadth of exactly what's happening technology-wise, and then be ahead of, well, try and stay, at least keep up with the curve.
Yeah.
It's almost impossible to stay ahead of it because it's changing so quickly.
So you're saying don't ignore it. Because that is, I've noticed, I've spoke to some people privately and I said, you into the AI thing? No, I'm not touching it, not going near it. They're sort of head in sand. And I'm like, yeah, you can use it. Just have a look at it. You know, you don't need to become, you know, it doesn't need to completely overtake your life. You can use it as a tool, an add-on, that type of stuff. But there is a reluctance there with some people. They just don't want to. They don't want to know about it.
It's either this thing that people are just fearful of it, or they think that you know, they're feeling inadequate because they don't know enough about it, or
yeah,
you know, and we've had these conversations before about, you know, doing the knowledge. London cabbies have got all this knowledge in their heads. They know the streets of London like the backs of their hands, literally, and then Google Maps comes in and then just takes that completely out of the equation.
Yeah.
So,
and it's so much better, isn't it?
Path of least resistance.
It knows the traffic in real time.
Yeah.
You know, which is, you know, you can't do that. Even if you know the streets are on, you're not going to be able to guess ahead, are you? Of what streets are blocked, what's going on traffic-wise. So, yeah, it's just brilliant. The autonomous cars are coming. They're already here, aren't they? In America, there's a lot of them, and they're
so
coming
that's
here
another
as well.
level. That's another layer. So you've got taxi drivers, and then, you know, Uber was the sort of the next layer on top of that, and then you've got autonomous cars that you know, car ownership will completely change. That you'll be able to call up a car as and when you need it. You won't be parked on the driveway. You won't have that sort of dead money sat there not doing anything. When you need to go somewhere, you just call up, or you'll order it online. It'll be there within 10-15 minutes, half an hour max. You'll get in it, take you where you need to go, it'll bring you home, and then it'll trundle off down the road. It'll then take itself to a station where it'll go and fill itself up or charge itself. You'll have smart contracts that allow you to service that vehicle. So you'll get businesses that will then create around these autonomous vehicles that will have very low touch interaction with the vehicles, that they'll just sort themselves out. You know, they'll have car washes that will go and wash, valeting systems that will get valeted.
Yeah. And it's here already. There are in America, it's here. They pick people up from airports and stuff. It's massive. And I like what you said there about education first. And it reminds me of sort of the 12 steps in, if you're an alcoholic. Like the first step is to come out of denial. Is it to come out of denial? I'm not really too sure. I'm not an alcoholic.
Yeah, I think it's that.
Any alcoholics out there, you've got to acknowledge there's a problem and come out of denial. So it's actually looking at it and say, okay, I'm not going to bury my head in the sand here. I'm just going to have a look and see what's happening. Because loads of people did it at the beginning of the internet, didn't they? They did it at the beginning of social media. You sort of brush these things off and think, oh, okay, what is this thing? Oh, can't be bothered. It's just another thing. And then, you know, a few years goes by and it's literally, people can't put down their phones, can they? You look at go on a train, go on a tube, people are consumed. Everyone's head down in a phone. Everyone. It's like 9 out of 10, I would say.
I mean, in, you know, the local gym that I go to, everybody there, male and female included, just sat there looking at their phones in between
phones. Yeah. I was like it in the gym as well. I was thinking, I need to just put my phone away. This is not good.
Yeah.
I'm getting hooked. I'm in between sets, and then a minute's turning into 3 minutes to finish off watching a video, and then all of a sudden
Exactly.
you
You should,
just
I mean, really, you should be in and out within about half an hour,
yeah,
maximum 45 minutes. Just go for it
you're
and then
right.
get out.
So that trait that you're talking about, I think, is something to do with openness, isn't it? Openness to experience a positive. I say a positive mindset. What would you say? An
It's curious
open,
mindset.
curious, yeah.
Just to be curious.
Not fixed in your belief system. I think there's like that growth or fixed mentality. And if you're fixed
Yeah.
in a belief and say, "Oh, this is this way, this is this that way," you got to be open. I would say that's going to help you as you move forward. And you don't need to know everything, do you? Really, you never do. And a lot of the stuff you don't really need to know, but it's just
No.
keeping your eye out and being and just seeing around the corners. Say, okay, this is coming. What can I do? So, what can people do? Because if you've got a certain job, James, then the likelihood is if you're doing something like accountancy at university, then how long will it be between that job becoming replaced? Because I had a lot of guys that I used to live with. They were university guys, and they did computer programming for computer games. And by the time they finished university, they was like 30, 40 grand in debt, and the software that they've learned for 4 years was out of date. So the guy
Yeah.
ended up just getting a job, like a basic job in banking. It's just like, oh my god, what was the point of that? So education has got to change, isn't it, James? It's got to evolve. We've got to change the university system. We've got to change the whole education system, haven't we?
And there's education platforms now. I mean, the existing ones and ones that will be coming up very soon that are agile and are not tied to academia in that respect, that it takes a long time to change the schooling system. And yet you can have an independent platform that can tomorrow change the curriculum. They can do whatever they want to do.
Yeah.
And it'll be through market demands. So whatever they see as the trend of people Googling, searching, using ChatGPT to find out about, they'll create a course for it. If they can see there's a demand for it, they can then respond.
Yeah.
So it's just the speed of the response in the market that will take conventional education systems out of the frame. You know, you think, I mean, my son, for example, created a gamified app just using YouTube. Just followed this guy, did exactly what he said. And then at the end of the day, I mean, it may have taken him sort of 4 or 5 hours of going through it, practicing, but at the end of it, he could code. And like you said, people going to university to code, to do gaming, just watching a YouTube video for a couple of hours and practicing is taking them to a level, if not above, what they would have done during a degree level university course.
It could be game over, couldn't it, for universities?
Yeah.
I think for the whole schooling system. I've got quite a few friends now that are homeschooling. So they've managed to work from home or create a business or do something like that. And they've decided to pull their kids out of school. I like school, to be honest. I liked my school. I know you wasn't as keen, but I think there's other benefits other than just the education side, isn't there? There's the social interaction, dealing with problems, dealing with
100%.
different characters. Some of it I liked. Could it have been better? Would it have been better to do apprenticeships? I think so. I think most of the stuff is, apart from the baseline foundational stuff, was pretty pointless, I would say, in a lot of ways. So I think it can be improved. The fact that you're paying a lot of money to go to university these days, especially in America, are people going to need to do it anymore? I think the education system is just going to have to go through a whole revolution. This is going to be a big change. So I would be open to, suggesting to your own children that, think about it. Think about it before you make that decision to put yourself in debt or go down that path. Is that industry realistically going to be there in the same light? And even if it is there, there's so many people now leaving uni, and they've the whole adage that you train to be a barrister and you end up being a barista in Costa or Starbucks. So there's loads of people that can't get into the jobs because they're getting rid of people, or it's just much more competitive to get in there. So yeah, think about that. I think that's a really big trait, to be curious, open-mindedness, and not follow the past trends, because maybe, James, the past sometimes repeats itself, but this time, are we seeing something different, James?
Yeah, and I think the only difference is the speed at which things are changing. I think there's always been change, there's always been these movements, revolutions, industrial revolution, whichever 2.0, 3.0, 4.0 revolution we're in at the moment, but it is just how fast it is changing. So you think you've kind of caught up, and then it's changed again.
Yeah.
So, but I do believe that fear plays a huge part in the decisions you make when you're in a state of fear will impact on how effective you can be in any given situation. So I think if you can be curious about it, and you can try to look at where the positives are, where the opportunities are, as opposed to this is going to take us out, that humanity is going to be pretty much wiped out as a result of this. It's like, well, where are the opportunities? And that's, when you take a broad kind of brushstroke spectrum of approach to this, I think if you can try to maintain that level of perspective, then A, you're just able to cope with it a bit better, and B, you can be more effective in the outcomes. Whereas if you are just thinking, I'm paralyzed by the fear of this, then you stay still.
Yeah.
Or you die.
You got to have both, haven't you, James? You got to have an eye on the future, but that ability in uncertainty to just stay present and just do what you can do today, whether that's drinking 2 liters of water, doing your daily walk, getting a little bit of exercise in for 20, 30 minutes. It just completely changes your psychology. And just hanging around. I've noticed with people, they say there's people around them that are all doom and gloom. Well, maybe just move away from those type of people who are always negative about the future, or this is bad and politics is bad and Trump's bad and the world's falling apart and AI is going to kill us all. But why not just...
Easier said than done.
Even if it's true, is that mindset, is it helping you? Just ask yourself. Maybe it is. Maybe it's you facing reality. But I would say there's a point where you can face reality, but you might as well just step forwards with more positive energy and optimism.
Yeah. I mean, we're hardwired for survival, aren't we?
Yeah.
And like any perceived threat, it's going to come up high on the radar. It's going to be given a high priority. So, but I think, if you can, and like you were saying, move away from the people that are doom and gloom and the naysayers and the doomsayers, etc. But it's like, if you're in a workplace and you've got that on a daily basis, it's really, really hard to get out of that narrative and not to be influenced by it. But as you said, if maybe we can all just stick to the simple stuff, then we're able to create a bit of space that you can then allow yourself some perspective. But
because when you're under pressure, James, it's hard, isn't it? It's easy to say, like, do this, think about the future. But when you've got bills to pay tomorrow, you've got kids, you've got relationships to maintain, you've got things going on in your family, you've got pressures, maybe the business is not doing as well as you want it to do. It's hard, isn't it? Because sometimes you don't want to face it. But it's just being able to do probably the most simple things you can during the day that are going to be the biggest difference when we're moving through this transition in AI. And like you said, probably like being open to education, but your own personal wellness, I would say, is right up there.
Yeah. And look, I'm speaking from my own personal experience of, like, as soon as those kind of difficult thoughts come into my head, I can reach for my phone and go for the distraction thing. you know, if I'm thinking about the kids, or I'm thinking about the economy, or thinking about work, or, you know, finances. Sometimes, it's not all the time, but there's a lot of occasions where it's just like straight on the phone distraction, because the brain now is looking for ways in which it can take you out of that field. And then it's that momentary kind of pause, or just to kind of let you out of that loop of looking at something on your phone, just to take you to a different mindset. And then you find yourself on it, and then you scroll, suddenly realize it's like, oh. So it is this cycle, this vicious cycle of behavior, that you're then sort of castigating yourself because you've been on there. You went on there because you're in that sort of fight or flight, that you're feeling like, oh, that's too overwhelming. Don't want to think about it right now. So I'm going to go and scroll some meaningless stuff, maybe watch some comedy, make myself feel better. But the problem's still there.
Yeah, like Robert's saying here, don't punish yourself for things that might never happen. Yeah, that's a great point. Like 99% of the things we worry about don't happen.
But we ruminate. But this is the human condition, isn't it? That we're putting ourselves into situations that haven't happened yet, but we're already sort of putting ourselves into the worst case scenario. And you feel it emotionally. You know, you're in that moment, that it's like it's actually happening. But it's not. But because you're thinking ahead, you know, and I think human beings are the only species on this earth that kind of do this, that have this ability to be able to put themselves in a future environment that hasn't happened yet, but still feel all of the emotions associated with it, like it was actually happening. So
you end up feeling them twice, don't you? Potentially, if they do happen. That's a quote that I'm trying to remember this year. I think Robert, if I'm not mistaken, has got a business doing I don't know if they're prefabbed housing, but new eco type houses, which are, I might be completely wrong there, but I think it was. But it's a very cool business. But I think it's probably got a lot of supply chain potential that can be up and down, with costings coming from all over the world. I can imagine like land registry, all of those type of things. There's probably a lot of complications which can be potentials with different regulation changes and tariffs and fees that can.
Perhaps I can Robert imagine. Can just confirm that and comment on that.
Yeah, it might be completely different business. If I could just remember, if I remember correctly, it might be.
If it isn't Robert, just make it up.
Yeah. Unless it's Robert from Killing Kittens. I'm not sure if it's the same guy.
Oh man, I don't know if we're going to get past this, mate.
But it's true though, that it's that mind's. Well, they're calling it, the old buzzword in the corporate game was resilience. New buzzword, James, in the corporate world, or just in entrepreneurial world. What do you reckon? Come on, just the agency. High agency people, that is what people are looking for now. Apparently, that is the new word, being high agency, being able to get things moving without people having to tell you what to do, be able to solve problems, be able to be multifaceted in different realms. You might, know about supply chains. You might be having to get on Canva to do some design. You might be having to sort out your website. You might have to wear a few different hats. So high agency people are the ones that can do a lot of different things and get things done. And I guess with AI now, you can pull a lot of things together and have a bit of an arm of a few people doing marketing, branding, directors, in your back pocket if you know how to use AI to
support
you.
It's a toolbox, I think, isn't it? I think if we had a series of tools that we had at our disposal and have a pre-idea about that and what that looks like, that would be helpful, wouldn't it?
Yeah. And if you need that, just follow my newsletter, johnhastings.info.
Apparently
it's the number one newsletter out there for staying future proof, James.
Allegedly.
allegedly in the AI world.
Yeah.
So definitely follow that. But this is, yeah, these are the things that you need to be have high agency. It's the way forwards. Resilience, high agency, high trait openness is going to help you. And another one, James, the ability in business to focus. Focus in this attention economy is pretty much everything. And one of the guys, people mock this guy sometimes, but he's super successful in what he does, is the Alex Hormozy guy. This guy will put his headphones in, be in a completely dark room, eats nicotine, and just locks himself in and just doesn't move until he gets these things done. He is so...
Is that an urban myth? Do we know that to be absolutely true?
No, he told me, a little birdie.
Did he personally tell you?
He called me up and said, John, I'm in a room trying to concentrate.
I'm chewing on nicotine. I've gone back to sort of the 1800s. I have a spittoon in the corner.
I've watched numerous...
During the backy.
I've watched numerous interviews, and he does say this is his tip for being locked in when it comes to focus. Yes, there are potential issues with supply chains, however most can be easily solved for now. Yeah, I was right.
So you got it right.
I've got a
I'm impressed. I think everything else
memory, to be honest,
goes out the window at my very impressed response to you remembering who Robert was.
Yeah,
clearly Robert made an impression.
James. I remember everybody. I do, because I want a house in the future.
You make them feel seen and heard.
Yeah, or is it Robert to give me a free house as I'll be the marketing example of how amazing this life is within this. And I do it out the goodness of my own heart, James. I'll live there.
Shameless.
I'll video it every day. I'll shamelessly plug these houses.
You'll wake up every morning with gratitude, is what
I would do, yeah. And a lovely view of the countryside. That would be perfect, wouldn't it?
Yeah, what must that be like?
So we're not focusing, James. We've got to focus.
No,
this is one of my...
sidetracked.
Yeah, I'm definitely... I'm not going to say ADHD, because that is proper... That word is really put around, isn't it? But I think everybody's got under attack.
I think we're all pretty much... I don't know that there's any...
Is anyone not ADHD? A little bit. You've got to be a little bit.
Neurodivergency, that anybody is what was it? If you're supposed to be sort of...
neurodivergent or something.
Yeah, but then there's the neuro... that you're not neurodivergent.
No idea.
Neurotypical.
James.
Neurotypical.
Is that when you're just...
I think you're a robot.
You haven't got the label. You haven't got the label.
Neurotypical. You've got to be a... Yeah, I don't know how they would qualify. I think we're all neurodivergent.
Yeah, there's so many things that can distract you.
Or a lesser extent.
Yeah. And in general, when it comes to business, any business, even if the business is quite fun, mostly business is relatively boring, repetitive tasks. The majority of it. And you got to be able to focus, whether you're doing your DMs, your content creation, your outreach, your paid ads, doing the same thing, keeping up with the clients, making sure everyone's happy. This is quite... It can get...
So do you think those jobs are going to be the most at risk? Is that kind of repetitive, mundane type sort of jobs?
I mean, saying that,
you could...
I think it would make sense, wouldn't it?
Bricklaying is repetitive and mundane?
I'd have to, relay this one with Robert, to be honest, in the building industry. In the future, I would say prefabbed housing is going to be, if you can get the quality very high, I can imagine you're going to...
3D printed houses.
3D printing houses, that type of stuff. Or they're already made with brick or cement in a factory somewhere, and they just come and build it in a couple of days on site. So
bosh.
I think the idea of having people just laying one brick on top of the other is going to be a little bit archaic, because if you want to upgrade it, it would be better if you can just get rid of that part, recycle it, and then just add another piece in, like a bit of Lego, I would say. And then all the plumbing can be, if you've got quite universal ways of doing plumbing or connected to water and stuff, then all of a sudden you can put in robots to come and service the housing, because it's not like an individual house or a way to do it. But I think housing potentially will come access over ownership in the far future. Otherwise, you're going to have like 100-year mortgages or 1,000-year mortgages where people just can't afford any of it.
It's an interesting, this kind of modular system.
Yeah,
that could look a little bit like what we were talking about with transport.
Yeah. It's easier to service if everything's the same. You could build a robot and say a robot plumber then, because the variables are less, aren't they? It knows exactly what it's going into, what it's looking for. Whereas all houses now are pretty,
as long as you don't get any human intervention whatsoever. Because if you got a human come along and thinks they can do it themselves, and if they don't have the skills and they give it a go and fuck it up, and then you've got a robot trying to come in and put that right. But then I guess you could program the robot to have every eventuality that, you know,
eventually, yeah, I think so.
It would, again, that kind of learning model that
I think that would be the way.
If this is human nature, they'd probably try and do this, in which case this is what you do. So case in point, I had an issue with my boiler the other day that we were topping up the pressure in the boiler. The lever that you use to put the pressure back up, because it had dropped, was stuck. So we couldn't then turn it off. So the pressure was building. Had to switch the boiler off, switch the water off, all that sort of thing. Luckily, we had insurance. Plumber came. Eventually, it was like, it was supposed to be 24 hours, but I managed to get in there within 24 hours. And he turned up, sprayed it with a bit of WD-40, tapped it with the handle of his screwdriver, fixed. 2 minutes.
Easy as that. Yeah, you can't. Sometimes you don't want to mess around with those. And you had to pay what?
Well, it was a £60 excess, but we're like paying £25 a month for the insurance.
Oh, right. Okay. Which is not too bad. So it might have been double in London.
Yeah. So, but like, even he said this is the first time he's seen one of these particular valves do that, but he knew. And actually, I kind of thought about it. It's like, if it's stuck, bit of WD-40, maybe give it with a tap. But it's like, but if you do that, you then negate your insurance, house insurance. If you start to interfere, blah, 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 it's a boiler, corgi, all that sort of stuff. So like, but that's all he did.
Yeah.
So, you know,
I troubleshooted my heating with ChatGPT.
You did.
I took the picture of the boiler, took a picture of the thermostat, and it said it knew exactly what this one was. It read all the instructions on the website about how this thing operates and what all the buttons mean and the red signal, green signals, all that. It troubleshoot, and I'm not a DIY guy, really, but I am now because somebody's taught me what to do. I just followed the instructions. I bled the radiators. I turned the thing
typed into ChatGPT. I've got the skills and understanding of an 8-year-old.
Yeah, I said, listen, it's simply. Yeah, went downstairs, asked the neighbor for some tools. She was very helpful. Came back up. My wife was asleep at the time. By the time she woke up, I fixed it. She could not believe it. I mean, I felt proud of myself, James, to be honest.
You should. The brownie points, astonishing.
Which leads us on to
seamlessly.
It leads us on to doing something in the physical world where you can feel a sense of achievement, because we're
feel like we've looped back to the very start of this conversation.
I know we have. Yeah, we're bringing it.
Don't know about the sense of achievement, though.
Yeah, the sense of achievement's got to be there, because you spend a lot of time online, don't you? Well, a lot of people do in their businesses now. And once you get a chance to be outside and do something with your hands, whether you're a farmer, a carpenter, or even if you're just knocking things down or digging things, it's different. And there's a sense, I don't know if you was building a school, or you was or people used to build cathedrals that took the generations to build, didn't they? And there was a real sense of togetherness. Maybe probably what
Yeah.
it would have been like when they're, I know maybe there were slaves doing it, but building the pyramids. Imagine what a feat that was, to know that generations of your family have built this thing.
And it would be for centuries, millennia, still there.
Yeah. And except for people, that's why I've got so much respect for people in construction. There's a guy I follow on LinkedIn as well in the construction side, and he keeps putting up these like testimonials of people internally, and just people that can do it, with the architects, the builders. It is a phenomenal feat.
And I love watching those videos as well. It's just like joiners and, you know, welders that can, and the way in which you solve a problem. You know, you come up, you butt up against a corner, or there's different angles, and it's cut it, and it fits. Love it.
You think that's what people are getting from coders? The same type of buzz. It's like an engineering online, or a designer. Maybe there is that element of doing it.
For a generation of kids that have grown up gaming, I think there's added satisfaction. For me, I probably wouldn't even attempt it, you know, to create something like that. It's just something that doesn't interest me. I don't know that I could learn the skills. I don't know that I've got the patience to do it necessarily, or it's just the desire to do it. But like, for somebody who's grown up gaming,
James, do you think they could even benefit from just getting outside? I think there's something
utopia
about
is
outside to do
a combination of both. To do in the physical world what you're doing in the digital world.
Yeah. I've got a client that's doing sailing days out. So he's learning to be a sailor. He's doing that, which is, you know, instead of being in a classroom learning about leadership, you're right there on the seas.
Yeah.
Learning
we're going
firsthand.
to crew for him in Portsmouth, right?
Yeah. I said San Francisco would be more ideal. Yeah. That's the other.
Portsmouth.
No, Portsmouth's a bit grey though, isn't it? Slightly.
Yeah, you need a bit of adversity, mate.
There's sharks in San Francisco Bay, isn't there?
None in Portsmouth.
None in Portsmouth, yeah. But that's something where I think it is going to go, James, when all of that online stuff, the monotonous stuff that can be automated by robots and tech and the coding, then we're going to swing back, aren't we? We're going to swing back to live, real events, because all of the clubs are closing. What have we got now in culture? We've got coffee shop culture. It's not really alive, is it? Coffee shop culture. It's a very individualistic, solitary.
It's becoming the fabric of society, though, isn't it? I think it's still, for certain factions, like meetings, you meet for a coffee.
Yeah.
Business or social, and the two can be combined. You know, mums tend to go for like coffee with other mums, take the kids.
That's true.
It's, you know, I think it's replaced. I mean, pubs were never sort of for that purpose, but I think in terms of hubs of the community, I think they have the closest thing you probably come to the pub, the village pub.
Yeah. But you don't walk into a coffee shop and you know everyone's name, do you?
No, it's not like coffee cheers.
It's not cheers, is it? Where people are giving you high fives and know your name. They know exactly what you drink. They know. Well, I suppose if you went to a village.
I think you could argue that there are people that on their commute to work, they go to the same coffee shop every morning.
People know them.
Or you can have, you know, got apps online that you can pre-order your latte and it's there waiting for you when you arrive. They know your name. That's the whole thing with Starbucks is, you know, writing your name on your cup. So you have this full sense that you're part of something when you get your name called out, and that's your coffee.
But if you went to a pub back in the day, if somebody new walks in the pub,
you'd have your own pint pot behind the bar.
Everyone's eyes turn and think, who's this guy? You're not going to get that in a coffee shop. It's a different vibe, isn't it? And then the dancing's not there. Like the night clubbing is dying off.
Well, there's a potential business model for you, mate. It's a clubbing
Yeah.
coffee place.
Yeah. I went to a day club maybe a year ago.
Sounds a bit special, doesn't it?
Yeah, it was good, James. It was like
Was it?
a nightclub, but it starts at 2 o'clock in the afternoon and finishes at like 6. So you can get home in good time, put your slippers on, have a cup of tea when you
Cup
get
of
back.
tea.
But the
Genius.
music was good. It was early enough. I don't know what it's called, day club, lunch club, or something like that. But it's just that club environment, but in the day on a Saturday afternoon. I thought, oh, that's really good. I don't want to stay up late. It ruins. I don't want to really drink a lot of. I don't want to drink alcohol.
But did you go back?
No, I didn't actually. No, I knew somebody was DJing, so I got him free. To be honest, I was saying this with my wife, James. Sometimes I just can't be. I like to think about going out,
but the actuality,
then I just can't be bothered. Is that my age, or do I just need to? Do I just need to do it?
Dude. You're contracting.
Yeah, my wife she booked opera with her friend the other day, and then my other friend was saying to me, "Oh, just let, why are you going? Just let them go." So I didn't book it, and then I thought, no, I want to go. I want to go to the opera, so I booked it as well. So I'm going. I said I will stay away from those two, but.
So how do you build in a bit of friction, a little bit of?
But you got to just go, haven't you? I'd like to go to a singing choir. I would love to be part of a choir and go to that. I need to go, really. But my brain's always in entrepreneurial mode, thinking about business. So sometimes
I think that's an excuse, mate. I think you're
it's an excuse.
Absolutely petrified.
Yeah, I probably just need to go. But I'm going to go to the opera. I got a standing. The only thing left was standing, which is interesting. I thought, why not?
Which opera?
Yeah. Nutcracker?
What? So you haven't booked it, or you have booked it?
Yeah, it's booked.
It's booked, but you don't know which one it is.
I can't remember, James. Is there loads of different ones?
There's quite a few, mate, to be fair.
It's in central London somewhere, so it's
right.
I think it's Covent Garden.
So what did you do? Just kind of close your eyes and just.
My wife sent me the link, and she just said, "Book, just pay for this."
Book this.
And I just went, "No, okay, I'll book it in." But it goes to show, I think theatre, creativeness, that's another thing, James. I think people are going to start to tap into their creativity and ask yourself, who are you outside of your job, this job role? Yeah. This job role doesn't define you. Who are you? When you get rid of your problems, when you get rid of your job.
Can we actually do that, though? Are we able in a situation?
Utopia.
I don't know. I kind of jury's out on this one, because, I've been to stuff, I've been to things like, that weren't supposed to be networking, but we're hardwired. We're hardwired to talk about what we do for a living and to find out about what other people do. And then it's the hidden agenda thing of like the thin veil, the guise of being there just to be and not for your own personal gain. But I think if you're brutally honest with yourself, I think there's always an element of that. Even though you could say, look, I'm not interested in that. I'm just here for the human connection. It's
probably harder if you've got some type of mastery in one career path, or you've been on a career path for a long time. If you're more, I don't like the word entrepreneur, because some people are really good entrepreneurs. I don't put myself in that bracket. But if you are entrepreneurially inclined, then your career path can go off in quite a few different directions. So someone asked me, what do I do? It just depends, what 5-year section you're talking about. So I don't box myself in as much and say, look, I'm a carpenter, I just build the world's best tables or anything like that. So but I can see if you are that guy and you've been that guy for 40 years, I can see how that's a big one. But
it must
those
be nice
things are
to
going to be
have
around,
that
aren't they?
clarity
I think
about what
so.
it is that you do,
Yeah. There's
and
something warm
be
about that,
okay
isn't
with
it?
that.
Yeah, you're right.
Yeah, yeah. I think
For
I'm
I don't know if it's a
almost
man thing.
envious of that,
Yeah,
of people
I
that
am
have
as
that
well. Yeah.
very clear definition about who they
Yeah.
are. But you know, I repeat time and time again, it's a situation where it's like I'm not defined by what I do. And if you can have a conversation with somebody purely based on who's in front of you and not what they do for a living, not what they represent, but just whether you like their ideas, you know, whether they make eye contact with
Mm.
you, whether they smile, whether they, you know, give off a kind of a warm vibe, they are generous with their emotions, they're open,
Yeah. Because they don't
available.
ask that question in
All
other
got,
countries, James. When I was in Armenia, not one person asked me, "What do I do?"
yeah.
Which is
So
kind of
how did the
interesting.
conversations go then? I mean, clearly there's a
It's more.
language, so there was an
It's more to do
interpretation
with
thing.
are you eating and drinking enough, and
Yeah.
just dancing and music, and it's probably a little bit less
Did it feel more in the
deep.
moment?
I think it felt more in the moment. Yeah. Yeah. You can tell when your addictions go down, when you stop scrolling online, or
Yeah.
or basically you leave your phone alone. That's probably when you
Feel that
know.
decompression.
Yeah, you think, oh bloody, I haven't watched TV in like 2 weeks. I'm not even on my phone. My phone's dead and I haven't picked it up for 5 hours. And then as soon as you come back home, all your addictions come back. It's that environment, isn't it? It's big. But when you say who are you, I guess maybe it's over there. It's more of the results speak for themselves. So if you've got the material goods, then they sort of just assume you're doing something, and if you haven't, then they just assume you're not doing anything. So I guess
Yeah.
there's that type of
But see, I
feeling
mean, I
that.
don't know. You correct me, but is it more of a sort of sharing economy that you're there? If you've got it, you'll share it with your neighbor. You know, if you've got chickens and they laying eggs, you go and take those eggs to your neighbor because you know they don't have chickens. So
Yeah,
ergo, they don't have eggs.
in
Or
smaller
if you're a
villages,
builder, you
yeah,
go and help. Because it's
not in
again, it comes down.
not in cities. I guess I think cities
No,
just
so rural
congregate.
communities then very different to urban.
100%. You'll notice it being in England in different villages, but people know each other. They probably help each other out a bit more and know each other a bit more. But I think
Well,
that's another thing about this becoming future proof, James, is to men especially not particularly great at this, but opening up your connections. And LinkedIn is brilliant for this, isn't it? There was somebody I connected with the other day, and they said, "Oh, this is the first time I've actually connected with somebody online." And I'm thinking, I try to do it as much as possible. I do it more online than I do in real life, but LinkedIn has been super helpful in just catching up with people, building your connection, building your community, because it's quite powerful, isn't it? So the more people you know, the better. And you just wish you would have just done it 10 years ago and just be more diligent with it.
yeah. Do you think there's a level of skepticism on this platform that people are dubious as to your
Yeah.
intentions? That it's like you just, you know, you let's not play the bullshit game here. It's like you're connecting with me because you want something out of me.
Yeah. I think
And
there's a
maybe those
perception
more
there.
organic, you know, like you and I, we're a prime example, aren't we? You and
Yeah.
I.
Yeah.
That there was no ulterior motive. That was just a conversation that turned into a phone call that then turned into a 2 or 3 hour, it felt like, video
Yeah.
call.
But if there's good intentions, James, if you're there just, it sounds corny to add value, but if you're there to just tell the truth, look, we're in this world as it is. Everyone's trying to,
We're all just
improve
trying to get by.
themselves, improve their business, and trying to make some money, or So if you can connect with someone and you build up some trust, then potentially you can introduce people with connections. You might know somebody who knows somebody, they can introduce you, things might happen. So if you just come into it with really good intentions, then I think that's a good way to go. But the perception is that everybody's feeling a certain way or they don't like it. But I think it's more the opposite, that most people just don't do it. So it's sort of like the creator consumer thing, where people
Mm,
assume that everybody's just putting out this same garbage stuff. And I would say, well, I reckon 99% of people don't post or
no,
interact at all.
yeah,
So you're just seeing a certain fraction of people who are. That's why, even if I don't like content, or sometimes I don't necessarily agree with what somebody's saying, I just like the fact that they're active. I think at least you're doing something,
yeah.
and behind
No,
that
it's
is a
interesting.
person who's trying. They're at least they're trying to change their situation, try and improve it, allowing themselves to be rejected. It's different if you
Yeah,
cold pitch somebody and you're just militant about it. It's annoying. I've had people that message me, I message them back, and then they ignore me.
yeah, yeah, yeah. I've done the same, but I'm gonna probably push back on that thing. And that's utopia, is that you come to it with an open, honest position of service. That, how can I help you? And focusing on that and saying, look, I'm here to help in whatever way I can, give you access to my network, etc., etc., and I don't want anything in return.
No, I'm not saying that, James. I'm more saying how can we help each other and build
Yeah, but
some trust.
I think you also said, is that kind of coming at it from a perspective of service,
100%. You got to be in a position where
which is, yeah, I
you're
agree.
willing to
I
go and
agree. But
think about them.
the reality is very, very different. And I would argue that, everybody has got some level of ulterior motive, even if it's just to make themselves feel better, which is fine. I'm not saying there's anything wrong with that, but I don't know that there's any of this completely altruistic.
It doesn't need to be though, James, does it? I don't think. You don't have to have that. I think you have an honest approach where if I do something for you, I'm sort of hoping somewhere down the line
In return.
I
Exactly.
could get paid back somewhere. It might not be this year, might be a couple of years, it might be a contact somewhere, but
Yeah. And you
you know,
never know.
if you do that
You
enough
never know.
times, then it's going to swing back.
Yeah.
So I think
Yeah.
just being open to connecting with people more, giving people the benefit of the doubt. And if you are
Yeah.
connecting people, just be a good person.
And
Be
follow
I know
through.
you don't have to be like completely altruistic, but just don't try and pitch to them off the bat. Just be open to building some trust and a relationship, and then if they can help you out, fantastic. If you can help them out, brilliant. But those connections are, it's never been easier to get in contact with people. So I think during this AI age, that's why people are leaning towards personal branding, aren't they? Trying to up their own brand and identity, trying to be a key person of influence or an industry leader that
Yeah.
people navigate towards, so they're not so reliant on a job. So I think it's good, like the things that we do. We have people on the show to talk about their businesses. We go to events, we can host people, host events for them, get people engaged, whether it's the audiences or whether it's experts on stage. So I think being open to live events, networking, talking to people is also a big plus, wouldn't you say, James? Social
Yeah. No,
skills.
I totally agree. And I think as human beings, we're just looking to cut through the noise and have some level of certainty, where we're constantly vigilant to being taken advantage of. If you can just have somebody that you can trust, believe that they are the authority, like you were saying, the sort of, to be the voice of authority, and to be associated with being an expert in that particular field, that you can go, you know, that is the person that I can go to if that thing happens. It's the not knowing. I think it's the scrabbling around for that individual or that solution, that at any point in time you could need that individual or need that service, that you've then got somebody like I was talking about. I've now got a guy who is a boiler technician or a plumber.
Yeah. So if he's done a good job, you're going to recommend him
somebody
to your friends, aren't you?
Yeah. Yeah. And, you know,
that's why I
the
think
reviews that they get.
Yeah, if you put yourself out there online, you're putting yourself under pressure, but it's a good responsibility because people can see you as doing something. Because if you're out of line, then you can easily get called out online with bad reviews or people just, you know, it's not going to work out for you well. So if you put yourself forwards, be seen a bit more, then I know you got to overcome yourself and your fears of being seen. But in this day and age where, you know, it's an attention economy, it's harder and harder to stand out, then why not improve your visuals, improve your personal brand, put your flag in the ground, stand for something, get on a mission,
take a chance,
because that's not going to be automated, is it? That trust side, it's not. People are probably going to still trust people first, especially if they've got a lot of experience and background behind them to show. So I think that's a lot there, James. We had the agency,
I think it's a huge amount, mate.
Focus, networking, social skills, the ability to be open-minded and not have a fixed belief system, to understand your own fears, and then to have one eye on the future and not be in denial, but at the same time
educate,
have presence, have that presence of, you know, take 10 breaths, drink water, go for a walk, you know, speak to your spouse, you know, do the simple things to get your mind in the right space, and just take it as it comes. The future is going to come whichever way, isn't it? If it's
whether you like it or not, it's coming.
Whether you like it or not. And challenge is pretty much a certainty. Anytime you make plans, they pretty much never work out the way you thought they was going to work out, and you can guarantee there will be hardship and challenge along with the joys and the rainbows at some point. So, you know, be realistic, but, you know, stay grounded in today, because that's pretty much all you can do, James.
Words of wisdom, mate. I couldn't have put it better myself. On that note,
we'll leave it there. No, thank you, everybody. Thanks for listening. Hopefully that AI proofs you in what you're doing now. And let us know in the comments what you are doing, how you would AI proof yourself, or anything that we missed that you would recommend, and we'll add it to a new show. Perfect. Thanks, Robert.
Much appreciated.
I'll wait for my house in the post.
It'll come flat packed in the post.
Please, Robert.
It's a really small printer. But if you start now, you might have a house in about 20 years' time.
20 years, that's all right. I can wait.
It's okay.
James, great to see you, sir. Let's crack on. Let's focus. Stay focused. Stay focused out there. Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Much love, everyone. Bye.